Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Grim, and I'm bringing you a review of episode 2 of the HBO series House of the Dragon. What are my actual thoughts on the second episode? I have to say, it was fairly solid. I had my issues with it here or there. Overall, I thought it was a good follow up to the premiere. And so, why don't we go with highlighting I should say the best parts about it, right? And I'm gonna do my best to minimize spoilers or any some of the things that popped up that I think I would save for an audience who wants the surprises the whole way through. There are a few major elements to it. There's the situation with the king, where he has to take a new wife, and he's being pressured by everyone around him to do so. Even though I feel like if he had his way, he wouldn't take another wife at all, and he would take the risk and allow his daughter to rise to being heir, right? On top of that, we also have the princess and her feelings on the whole situation. And excuse me for not knowing their names. I'm terrible with names. Good with faces, bad with names. But the princess is definitely coming to terms with her new reality and her new situation as the heir to the Iron Throne. And as the queen who never was, that's the only thing I know about her, because that's the only thing that's the easiest way to remember her, continues to pound that on the princess about that the men of Westeros would rather burn the continent to the ground before allow a woman to sit on the Iron Throne. And I guess maybe they would, maybe they won't. It completely depends on who's burning the Westeros down to the ground. But that's like I said, you have the king and his situation, the princess, as I explained, as well as a interesting little development with Daemon, the king's brother, where he has there's a mysterious woman with him who speaks, I believe, in a French accent, because I could be completely wrong. Feel free to judge me, because I won't lie, it was a little tough to follow her at times. Where, don't know who she is, we don't know a damn thing about her, except she wants to be free from fear. Makes me go, who is she? And, what role does she play for Daemon where he did what he did? So, we'll probably find that out as time goes on. And so, also, you also have the king's health becoming somewhat of an issue, as with some of the things that do happen in the episode, or rather the little hints toward it and what might happen down the road. I have my personal thoughts on what might happen to the king going down the road. Only time will tell if those of us who look at that situation and go, that's what's going to happen. Other than that, those are the big plot points, right? There's a big reveal at the end where it's a giant, where the king makes a decision that I go, I don't know if he should have done that, but I think he did it out of spite more than anything else. And I feel like that is going to set off a lot of problems for Westeros in the long run, and probably endanger the king. But he made his choice, so he has to lie in the bed he made. Um, we also had a situation where the Daemon stole a dragon egg, and he wrote a letter to his brother and the council, and more or less insulted his brother in the worst way imaginable. I'd rather save that surprise for the people in the audience, because it's definitely a giant middle finger to his brother. I will say that much. However, this is also where we get a rather big confrontation in the sense of where things may go going down the road, and where some friction is going to develop between some characters like the hand of the king as well as the princess. I can already foresee some friction between those two as time goes on. I could definitely see some friction between the hand of the king and the king himself for the decision he made at the end of the second episode. Um, like I said, overall, I thought it was a fairly solid episode. I think, genuinely speaking, it did what it needed to do. It followed up the first episode, right? It wasn't a complete banger. It wasn't, it didn't need to be another miracle, right? The first episode did what it needed to do in being solid and setting up, future the whole series. Episode 2 carried through some of the things that were left over from episode 1 and the aftermath, and it continued to show we're heading towards that boiling point with the show. So, I liked it. I don't think this video needs to be 10, 15, 20 minutes. I want to give you guys it, give it to you guys quick and dirty. And that's generally how this episode felt to me. It was a good setup episode. Some things developed, and it also, one thing that did, come off to me is how much the king actually gives a fuck about his daughter, for the lack of a better word. He cares about his daughter, and that's genuinely something I like to see, right? A father who cares about his daughter in this situation. And he was conflicted himself on some of the decisions he has to make as king, right? Because I'm almost sure he wants to put his daughter first, but he can't because of his duties as king, and his daughter understands that. So at least I can see that there's a good relationship there, and they're both on the same page. Well, they were. This episode, the end of this the second episode, my mistake. The ending is definitely going to, unfortunately, set that relationship back to zero. So, as I said, Game of Thrones was at its best when there was drama, whether it was political, whether it was battlefield, whatever the case may be. And House of the Dragons, well, it's not failing in that department with some of the stuff it's setting up. Those are my thoughts. I don't think I'm missing anything else. Feel free to make... Oh, there is definitely some tension. There's actually one other thing I do want to bring up. There is tension boiling between the king and I forget his name. He is one of the only houses left on the continent that has Valyrian blood running through them. As I said, don't remember names, good with faces though. There was also yet another bit of a twist at the end of it that is gonna lead into a very, I should say, most likely what's gonna be the first big battle of the series, from what I can tell. Definitely looking forward to the next episode. I thought it followed up pretty well, and those are my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not missing anything else. I swear, you're good to go. So, those are my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, and I think we're gonna cut it here, right? No need to make it longer than it needs to be. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Do you guys think the episode sucked? Do you guys think it was good? Do you think it was meh? Right? And let me know what you guys think might happen as a result of the decision made by the king at the end of the second episode. Because it's a pretty big damn decision he made. And one that's going to have repercussions for potentially the rest of the series. Right? And this is coming from someone who, as we speak, is reading the book that this is based on. Or the events that this is based on, I should say. Anyway, folks, this has been Grim, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So, leave a like, comment, share, whatever you gotta do, and I will see you guys next time.